What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Top podcast. I am your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball. What's good? What's poppin'? How's it going? How was your Monday? Because this is gonna be up on a Tuesday as opposed to a Monday. Uh there's an explanation for that, which is the entirety of this episode. So let's just dive right into it. All right. In my previous episodes, one or two of them, I was talking about feeling inadequate and feeling like you're about to go into a new life. So, changes happen, or you feel different, or you get angry, or things like that. I had a whole episode on those things. But in looking at those things, I'm like, okay, cool. So this is natural for the growth process. This is where I level up. Okay, cool, no problem. Grind, go harder, have bigger goals. Do more, add more things to my to-do list. And real quick, I didn't tell you real quick. I mean real quick. I burnt right out. Like, because in my mind, right? Because I never take the easy way out. Hence why I have so many lessons to teach or to share. I can push through the pressure of all these things like I do with everything else. I just push through and I can reach where I need to be by the time limit that I have set. However, because I have never done anything like this, so building a brand or the whole Instagram thing, now YouTube, I was trying to build a community separately, and that's just one part. So then on the other side is skills wise, trying to do some other things, got some Skillshare classes that I'm taking. Like, I'm trying to do everything at once all the time, and couldn't handle it. The amount of stress, couldn't handle it. So for some, this period takes a matter of years. Mine took months. Mine took months. I've never done it, right? So I feel like I could do it, because I don't know the kind of walls that I would butt up against. And that's not a bad thing. Believing that you can do it or thinking that you can do it is not a bad thing. But there's a real possibility that you might burn yourself out, which is what I did. I burnt myself out, like, completely. It's nuts. So, like, 3 weeks or so, for the past 3 weeks or so, I've still been trying to put out content, but nothing feels as right. Nothing feels easy anymore, because when I started, the creativity was there and this stuff was easy, but now it's just kind of like, oh my god, I gotta do this today, right? And I didn't notice that I was burning out. I didn't notice. Obviously, I didn't even know there were stages to burnout. I just thought that, because I've talked about burnout before, but I just never really looked it up. I understand what it is. I just never looked up the process of burnout or the clear symptoms of burnout. I never looked it up because, like I said, I understand what it is. It's just there's stages, and I didn't know. I got the stages pulled up on the left here, and I didn't know. So there's the honeymoon phase. That's where you get started and everything goes well. You're feeling creative. It's easy. You're having fun. It's great. This is great. And then you get an onset of stress, which is phase 2. So that's when you start to feel, a little stressed out sometimes. Not too much, just a little bit, where you're noticing that it's a little difficult. Difficulty is not a bad thing. So in my case, when I butt up against a little difficulty, I say, okay, well, this is my life, because everything comes difficult to Michael. Is it because he chooses a difficult path? Who knows? But everything kind of comes difficult to him. So that's fine. I can deal with this. I've done this before, right? Some of the symptoms would be anxiety, avoidance of decision making, inability to focus, irritability, job dissatisfaction, all of these things. I felt all of these things, but I'm like, yo, that's just because I have a greater goal. I can go, I can push, I can be more. That's fine. I can push through it. Then we get chronic stress, right? That's the third stage. So the stress levels now are way higher, way higher. And you go from motivation to experiencing stress on an incredibly frequent basis. So when I started YouTube channel, I thought I was coming out of it. I thought it was like, okay, finally, I'm starting to go back up. Because there's dips. Dips are fine. You go through dips. Just because you go through a dip doesn't mean that you're burnt out. It might just be having a bad day, right? So I was having a bad week or 2 weeks. And it dipped a little bit. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Dips are fine. Don't worry about it. I started a YouTube channel. I was like, all right, 2 videos a week. I can do this. And I felt like I was going up. And the very next day, boom, straight back down. Like, down. I was like, damn. I felt like, sorry. Even on videos, I'm coughing when I'm talking. I don't get it. Anyway. So, I added more things to my plate. So I'm like 2 YouTube videos a week. YouTube videos aren't that easy to make. And you hear people say it's not that easy, but when you doing something that you like, you think, oh, well, it's going to be easy. You do this all the time, right? You do this all the time. That's fine. So, I dipped again. So then a few of the symptoms of chronic stress would be anger or aggressive behavior. I did get a little aggressive. Lack of hobbies. I didn't feel like working out anymore. I stopped taking photos and editing photos. I don't have work deadlines, so I was exhausted mentally, physically, somewhat emotionally. Procrastination at work. Yep. Feel threatened or panic. Yep. Resentfulness. Not really. And then we get to stage 4, which is actual burnout, which is where I got, actual burnout. So then I started to forget obvious things, right? I started to neglect things that usually I'm very good at keeping up, right? Usually I'm very good at keeping up certain things, and I just started to neglect them. Like, my room is usually in a very good state, like clean and all that kind of stuff. There's clothes all over the place. I started to look negatively at life a little bit. Sometimes it hit me and then I'd catch it and then I'd go back and forth with it. Personal needs, I was barely doing my whole face care thing. It was just like, kind of half-ass it. A lot of self-doubt. Kind of isolating as well. Like, desire to move away from work, friends, or family. Yes. So, and then stage 5 is habitual burnout, which is just a repetition of the stages over and over and over, right? In which case, seek help. I don't think I got to stage 5. I'm here at stage 4, and I'm like, oh, jeez. I'm starting to come out now, and I'm going to tell you how I plan to deal with it. I'm not out yet, and I've not started working on the plan yet, but I've formulated the plan to get out of burnout. But I was just describing the stages there for you. For me, a lot of those things I did feel, like the things that I pointed out, I did feel, and it's like, man, this is rough. So I didn't work out. I worked out maybe 2 days here and there. And no matter how much sleep I got, I would still feel tired. it was nuts. I was going to bed at the time that I set for myself to go to bed. Like, I set myself to go to bed at 10:30. Usually I would not go to bed at 10:30, go to bed at like 11:30, maybe 12, get up, feel fine. But like, I would go to bed 10:30, minutes to like 10, and I'd wake up with 7 hours of sleep, 7+ hours of sleep, and I still feel exhausted. Like, I don't want to do nothing. Putting out content was, you know, being a terrible spouse. Like I was not there at all. And because I was still putting out content, right? It, even though it was difficult, I didn't think that I was burnt out. I just thought that I was running out of things to share. And it's not that. It's really not that. It's just, I didn't notice the state that I was in, right? I knew that I wasn't feeling right. And this has been going on for a while. But I didn't know that this is what I was leading up to, because I was putting more and more things on my plate. And I don't really know how to handle it, because if you look at it, doing YouTube videos and Instagram videos, like, me being on a camera is a major source of anxiety. Like, it eats up a lot of my like social energy and just mental energy as well, where I hate being on a camera. Like, it stresses me out. Right? But I'm doing it, and I'm putting it out there for people to see, which is stressful to me. So that's lots of stress. And then I'm thinking about other things. Then I got, some property stuff and a whole bunch of, like, all these things been happening in quick succession, and I've not been able to just sit and breathe, because I'm not allowing myself to sit and breathe, because I think that if I don't do these things, I'm going to slip right back into my lazy ways, and my life won't change. Despite what I'm telling you, I'm like I can see all the things clearly, right? And I had an idea what burnout was, but because I never looked it up, which is my fault, of course, because I never looked it up, I ended up in a space where I was burnt out, but didn't know I was heading to burn out quickly, and didn't notice, because the idea that I had didn't match the actual thing, right? So now I'm here on what I believe is the other end. I have a plan in my head that I need to sit down and put on paper, or just do all the things that I need to do. So for me, now I'm going to start adding things back, because over the last week or so, although I was still putting out content, it didn't feel meaningful to me. To me personally, it didn't feel meaningful. It didn't feel engaging. It just kind of felt like, here's some stuff to put on the page because I got to put it on the page. And also because I've locked myself into like a wellness mindful kind of thing. It's like, I only have to do this. Like, this is the only content I need to do. But that's not really how I work, right? I pull inspiration and motivation from everything, as opposed to just looking for I could watch something. I was watching The One the other day, and it's a show about finding your perfect match based on science. I was like, ooh, science. And there was a few gems in there that I pulled out. I can't remember them now, but I pulled out a few gems. I wasn't looking for it, but because I was doing this and the content, etc., I was looking for gems to pull out. And that's not how I work. I'm a wing it kind of guy, off the top of my head, literally. Like, that's how this all started, because these things come off the top of my head. I don't necessarily go out and look for these things. It's just because I am open to lessons that things come to me, as opposed to forcing myself to find things. So as I go forward, I'm going to start introducing things back in my life one by one. So it started with fitness, which is my grounding thing. I started that yesterday, which would have been a Monday. Started my first like real motivated workout again. It felt great. I love it. I'm gonna started this, putting this back in as well. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 YouTube videos a week. I might not. I'm trying not to put too much on my plate, knowing that I can't handle it, because I've learned that I can't handle to do all of the things all at once. It sucks though, because you would think, for me, it's like, I could do way better. Like I could have probably, made it a year of doing all these things at 100%. Go. But we never know our limits until we push it, right? And I pushed it. Turns out I can't hack it the way that I would like, in my mind. Because the way that I see it in my mind, I can do everything at 100% every single day, no stopping, in my mind, because I'm a savage in my brain. But in reality, I can do most things I can do every day, right? So I gotta cut back on my to-do list. Like my to-do list, like I'm looking at it here, it's 10 things to do today. I can cut some of those out. I don't have to do some of those things every single day. I don't have to, right? So how I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna prioritize my sleep again. Actually go to bed when I say I'm gonna go to bed. Cut down on the to-do list. Focus more on why I do this as opposed to where I want it to be, and just create. I'm gonna just create as opposed to looking for things and I have to no, I'm just gonna create and put out things. I'm gonna use my creativity, because I'm a fairly creative guy. I'm fairly creative. I got some skills in the area, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna figure it all out and introduce things slowly back into my life. Yeah, this has been my experience with burnout, man. And fortunately for me, mine only lasted, well, I don't want to jinx it, but it's only been like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks of burnout. So not too bad. And I feel like I'm coming out of it now, because I'm much more settled. Like, all right, usually, because there's always a gem somewhere, but during my burnout, right, I just didn't feel motivated to work out. Like I didn't feel it. Like I did, like I said, 1 or 2 days, and I was like, okay, this was a good workout, all right. But then next day I just didn't feel like doing it. I didn't do it. Just laid in my bed and was like, all right, that's it. I don't want to do this. But I would still, because I look at myself in the mirror. So I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not angry at what I see. Like, I'm not mad at what I have built over these 4 years. I'm not upset. Like, obviously I would like to look better and be stronger, but I'm okay with what I see. Like, I'm not upset that I missed the workout. So coming out of that, like, my body dysmorphia is shifting a little bit, and I'm not super on my back about every single workout. Obviously I still want to go to the gym, but I can't, because COVID lives in the gym. Apparently it doesn't live at the restaurant that you can sit outside 3 feet away from the other table with everybody's mask off, like the wind don't blow. But whatever, I still want to work out. Working out is something that I enjoy. I love. Kinda, it hurts, but it's a part of me, right? So I still want to do it. It's just I'm not upset if I miss a workout, and I missed a whole bunch. Like, I basically took 2 weeks off, and I've never taken more than like a week off intentionally. Obviously I broke my hand, I had surgery, things like that, but I've never intentionally said, no. Usually I just push through it and figure it out, but I said, let me relax. Let me, no, let's not do this. And I came out on the other end. I'm here. I'm like, I can miss workouts. It's fine if I miss workouts. Like, I'm not upset if I do. I'm not beating myself up if I do. I can miss them. It's okay, right? So I guess that's a good thing that came out on the other end. Well, what I assume is the other end of my burnout is that I've become okay with the body that I'm in. Like truly okay. Like, I was fine with it, but I still wanted it to be better. I still kind of want it to be better, but I am actually like okay. Like, how I look is fine. I'm good here, right? But that doesn't mean I don't aspire for more. It's just I'm not putting that weight on my shoulders anymore. If that makes sense. It sounds like I'm saying the same thing twice, but the feelings are different. You feel me? You better feel me. So there's a gem there, acceptance of where I am, which is not something I am good at. I'm not very good at accepting where I am. So yeah, I think that's it for the episode, man. Thank you very much for listening. This one's a little bit longer than usual, but I felt like it could add some value if you're listening and some of these things, you feel that you're going through. Hey, listen, it's all right. Take your time. Oh, the rain is falling again. I feel rested. I had 7 hours of sleep last night, comfortably too. I was supposed to record this last night. I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do to help with burnout. I guess I can do a whole video on that too, but for this one, I'm gonna end it because the rain is getting crazy. You can probably hear it, and I don't want too much of that in the video. So, our episode. If you're listening to this via podcast or seeing me with your eyes on YouTube, hit the like, comment on it, subscribe, share it with your peoples, your aunties, your uncles, your grannies, your mothers, whoever is gonna listen to you and watch it. Share it with them. That's it for another episode of the Off the Top podcast. I am your host, Michael Jordan. No, I don't play basketball, and I'm out.